Hello blender folks, welcome back to this Gnomes. And today we're gonna continue the third day of doing this model sheet in grease pencil in Blender, research on some mixing, merging of character designs, like my style of characters from 2D with, of course, already some inspiration of many ways, and there are some convergence with Dragon Nest character design, yeah, slightly, but very important aspects of this, like proportion, certain aspects of the proportions, the height. This is not, of course, the representative uh, character of my style, but it's like a shorter character, right? But it's still, yeah, it looks like it's, sorry, the image is not very clear. Okay, so last time I was doing some. Yes, I've made this model sheet like a sketch, like trying to. I see I had the proportions that I was trying to see the relations. These are heads, not head jaws, just heads system here. So there's about 5 heads plus 3/4. So we are reaching almost 6 heads tall here for this short character in my style. So this will be the Necromancer. So this is like right, this is game, if you don't know, Dragon Nest is an action MMORPG, very interesting. I don't know if super famous, but 2010 I played about 2012 or so. I think I enjoyed it. It's an action MMORPG, so I think it was a precursor maybe of Genshin Impact. Probably it had large influence in it. I think the style is slightly, but this is more cartoonish, right? Genshin Impact is really on this new vibe of anime 3D stuff, right? So, which is actually very beautiful. I think they get some good samples of cartoon, but they go to anime, right? The digital anime stuff in some way or another. This one is more peculiar. This is why I like it. It's more, it's a bit more original regarding what we can do anime. I think maybe they go looking for something like this Final Fantasy character design of 90s the 1990s games character designs. Yeah, I think it has some influence. I don't know, I have some slight idea about that, but anyways, we because they pushed the drawings, right, the character designs, not the drawings, not the characters in game themselves maybe, but the concepts, right? They pushed the anime, the manga, the anime to some more organic shapes that are more like with some variations that are interesting, peculiar. So that's it. So here we what we're gonna do, let's get the soundtrack here to play. Today I'm gonna make the front, side and top of the mothership, but top just for the head and face and the arm and hands, so that we can maybe the feet too, but so this is my new way of doing these character designs model sheets from 2D to 3D, because I usually model in T-pose. So let me show a bunch of stuff that I was researching here for hold on, yeah, here, yeah. So I have a lot of imagery here that I'm just gonna show what they are about. So you have here the mask, right? Any mask. So this is very crude, we don't need, so just show it here. Here we see a side view. It's not very good, this one, but okay, we see that looks like a theater mask, right? This blank face, right, without any expression, slightly Buddha expression maybe. So this is what I don't want to do, but I want Dragon Nest have it slightly. You see how the chin, so this is a bit of an elite analysis I'm making, right? You see how the cheek here protrudes. Of course it has more, it start to to curvate the back of the head, right, as we go in this direction. So it probably, we don't see the topology here, the mesh topology, but probably, you see how it probably is very protruded even here by this shading. So this means that the cheekbone of this character might be about here, so it's very protruded, it's more realistic, right? My style, right, it's the cheekbone is probably more in front of this part, while in my card sometimes the cheekbone is cartoony, right? It's more about, could be about here or here. Of course this is a different proportion, but so yeah, you got the idea. So this is so here more idea of masks, and this is very important that I find occasionally. Just remember this. So this is why it's good to be looking at reference on occasion, so we can remember some stuff that some concepts. So you see this edge face loop here, so there is some information here. You see a mask here, very clear. So this curves until the jaw, and then it starts to, there's a place here which it's supposed to have some, yeah, so there's a different angle, but then it curves again, so straight up, something like that, diagonally, but there's a slight curvature and then go back. So this is the face, the mask face, right? So it's very simple to model that, but it's not necessarily easy, especially when you're addicted to some modern character designs like myself. So I have been struggling because I always put the cheek somewhere behind or something, and actually I need to stick this to the front, but then it won't look like the cartoon stuff that I do. So this is the thing that I'm going to mix here. But about this line, you'll see what he will tell here. I think the same. This is very important. The diagonal silhouette is created by this topology. So this diagonal silhouette, which is this the cheek, right? Possibly the cheekbone, but the cheekbone might be more up here. But this salience here is very, very critical, because this is what gives this profile. It might not affect too much the other side depending on the angle, like in this 3/4 view from the top, slightly from the top, we can see this is not a 3/4 view, just like a 1/4 view maybe, and so it's slightly, the face is slightly rotated, maybe more, maybe about 30 degrees, something like that, to the right. And so this is very interesting because I use this loop usually to make the loop around the muzzle, right, on my cartoon. So I don't have an example right now, but doesn't matter. So this one is used in this case to match the cheek, and you see that it also finds the jawline there where it curves there. So this is super interesting for me and hopefully for you too. Then I'm gonna save this reference here. Where are these? I was placing this where, I think other projects, Necomans. Let's place this here because this is a good one. So I'll be using this. So you see here, nothing mysterious here, nothing mysterious here. We could have another face loop like here around the eyes, like an ocular thing, binocular thing, like all. It doesn't have here. It could have that, but then okay, we have around the eyes, and the topology certainly matters. You see these loops for face loops for the mouth, they are quite wide. In my character design they are much wider, but okay, these may still compensate. But if the larger this is, the better for the mouth to have wide, crazy expressions, in my experience. So this is more like a blend between the conventional topology for a human face, anatomic human face, but of course these ones usually go around here to favor the muscles. and this is like towards anime and other more cartoons, but it's light. This is not too much, right? Okay, let's I leave this open because I'm gonna be... So here we got the idea of the mask, but you see this mask is slightly... So it's going tilt like that. So it's interesting. Why do we need to go straight, right? Or even here, we could also... This can favor some stretching of the topology, right? But just showing this as just as a... And here we see this is very large actually. This is topology is probably for shading specializations, not necessarily for rigging. I think for rigging this will be very poor results. It's like these faces are very huge, so we don't seem to be able to... They seem like to be very flat, right? The mouth itself, maybe it has a lot of geometry there for some shapes, so probably there are some lips. You see how it's regular, this geometry of the... but this suggests that this place is very, very flat faces. So they decide some orientation. Yeah, this seems very difficult to rig actually, but very not very expressive. We can't do a lot with this because if you push this pull or drag those vertices slightly differently, we might start having a lot of shading artifacts here. I really don't know how they would cope with that, since this is for shading, but probably this face all will remain like a single plane altogether, like tilted aligned with the face, and just the lips should probably have some sort of... So this is probably for the lips to slide up and down, right? Sides, but not... yeah, it's like a sliding surface for the mouth. This won't give us too much smoothness on this area, but then because of the shading, it's like they... Maybe in the 3D this won't matter too much, right? This will be like flat. So there's like a trick that maybe we just ignore. I don't know if we look this from the side view, another angle, if we won't see something very weird in this as the mouth deforms. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's intriguing. But this is certainly for shading aspects. And here I just wanted to show actually this mask thing. This probably will go around the like a tiara here to complete, right? Here we see that this is for shading, I think, but this also can be used for character design, right? So we see this should be very small in this here. I'm not sure about this, but yeah, we got you see here again, but here the jaw is different. So this doesn't always seems to find the right positioning according to many examples, because artists do all sort of stuff, so they might adapt consciously or unconsciously. Let's see more stuff about... Not too much more. What is this? I think this is just a unfinished search. Here we see again, so on top of the nose, this. So you see, this is not very good. We don't see the jaw here, and this is like there are two of them, so it's too wide. It's not very clear, but they encompass the cheekbone maybe and the jaw when it. But here we don't barely see the jaw line when it because it's too smooth, right? But we see again the idea of the mask, an anime mask. So this is what I'm struggling to do. Gonna work on that. So yeah, those masks, they can have different... Yeah, this is bad. Yeah, still. So Dragon Nest actor, that character is not like that. It's not like that too. It's more like this, but it's much more accentuated, I think. The jaw, the maxillar, this down here below the circle, it's not that large, but it's similar to this actually. Here we see now good. We see where these two face loops here. It could be just one, but it goes here when the face start to go up, like, and also here it meets somewhere the cheekbone, which I believe in this character should be maybe around here, possibly. But this is my it's an image stylized, so it's not anatomically correct anyways. But there's some approximation, so this can create some confusion sometimes. But that's another example. The cool thing that here you have these ref marks here, and here the tiara, so to close the mask, and this one will probably continue upwards, and yeah. You see this, so these features will be interesting because I'll have to adapt this to the merge of the characters. Here we see this is probably more anatomically humane, right? But this face loop, not too good for wide mouths, but there's still many edge face loops here around the mouth, so this is okay. This curvature is very, very interesting here. So this is looking more like a dragon nest, but I think the jaw is too big right here. But you see, you see how this gets wider. This is very interesting, right? And here we got a great example of how very smooth curvatures. You see organic curvatures. This is very delicate. So this one really interesting, this one. So it's clear that the artist is trying to do something very subtle here with this geometry and even the mesh topology. So this is very interesting example. I think I'm gonna save this one and need to save on the other projects. Dragon Nest Necromancer. Okay, so I'll leave this open just to check. Oh, by the way, you see this one, it's not going there, so it's not going there. So the artist is not using this technique for some reason. He decides to bring this not even a circle going around the mouth. Now that I see it goes, yeah, so weird choice, but okay, it's to maintain it's to simplify the topology, right? But I don't like, I would do this like that, but you see, but then we don't really have that one on top of the nose going to the maxillar here, the jaw, this where it switch direction, not even close, right? So we want to get that some topology aspects, important one, snapping there, and so we can do some more interesting stuff. And finally here we got, okay, so this is a interesting face loop, right? I've been using something like that, so for cartoons of my character design, but here this looks like there's some, you see how flat this goes into the, so this is the face thing. So you see the cheek here protrudes. It's very interesting, but it's very bizarre from certain angles, I think. But it's not bad, but you see the characteristic of some of the characteristics, like need a bit of abstraction here, but you see some of the characteristics of the mask. In some, it becomes very flat in some areas. Of course we can smooth, but then for my character design this would never work, right? It's just too, it's like the tempora thing, right? But all around the, right? For my character design it usually is very flat under the chin, right? A bit like this area, maybe this area, but not this area, because the cheek is very protruding, the cheekbone, they are very rounded all around, so you need the muzzle thing. So so this is very interesting. I'm gonna save this because this seems to be good. We can also save this. Yeah, I'm on this. Yeah, let's save this. Let's say, oh no, this is not okay, never mind. So we can use this reference to start to, this is probably something very close to Dragon Nest. You see it's very small jaw here in comparison. If there's a circle for the head, yeah, then the jaw. So probably Dragoness has like that. So this is very interesting. So here we got a good clue on what we can achieve in my opinion, my assessment here. Alright folks, so now we can go back to the character design. Finally, we're gonna have these things here. We're gonna put them aside. Yes, we're gonna bring this aside because now I'm gonna redraw stuff here. I think I will, yeah, I still want this reference. Unfortunately, this will be still a bit chaotic, sorry, but we're gonna work, what I can do, yeah, I should be doing this. We can reduce the opacity here of this image. That should be good. So we're gonna pick this, it's this one, right? We don't need this one right now, we need this one. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, this is the face of the Dragoness, very front view here. So you see that the circle will be here, and if I'm not wrong, the jaw would be there, some drawing, but it will be hard to find right now. There's too many, I have too many references here, it's confusing, just will be wasting time. So what I need now is just to, not this head thing here, I need this, but I'm gonna play with this opacity, and we need to enable it, and yeah, this will grant us some clear vision now. So I'm gonna, this face is too masky now, it's too like anime, like I used to draw anime, so it doesn't matter here. In my first attempt of character design of mixing, it didn't work quite well. So also I need this Necromancer. Yes, it's very small there, but we can, yeah, so this is my character design. She has 5 heads tall plus 3/4 heads, so it's almost 6 heads tall. And the Dragoness, according to the same measurement style, she's tilted here. There's foreshortening from the camera if you look from top or bottom, so a lot of distortions here. So this is not ideal for calculations, but then I tried to adapt also the torso. It's curved, there's tilting in the, so all this complicated. She wears high heel boots, so it's all complicated, but other assessments I ended up with these conclusions. So roughly we get also from these measurements, yeah, this one, she's a bit taller actually, so it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 and not 6.5, even more, 6 3/4. All right, so the merge will require me to wait, but hold on. Okay, here it's because I've pushed her to the side. Okay, so I've explored the thickness or the wideness of the torso, right? My characters, I have very elongated, squashed, horizontally squashed torsos, and then the wrist, the waist start to enlarge, so the hips are wider, and the Dragoness, it's very heavy, wide hips for these girl characters, but the torso is also wide, so they are stacked like little dwarves somewhat. They are very short in height. Very interesting character design. Anyways, so for the mix here, I've decided to need, these are shrinked strokes. I tried to shrink because it wasn't looking as good for my eyes, and then she was too bulky. Also I shrinked the right, so I'm not trying to copy this, right, nor copy my own style. I try to find some elegant positioning of the character design sort of in between. And then of course the hardest part will be the face. Okay, let's do now a front one. So now we're gonna change here. We're gonna make the front. We're gonna also prepare side, and we're gonna make a top, which is top head. Yeah, top head, arms. That's it. But we're gonna do this here, so the top doesn't need to be at the top, so we can just do them in order of priority. So we start with the front. I'm using the auto lock inactive layers here. We're gonna start here. Make sure, yeah, we are in the proper, yes, we are in the proper. I placed those keyframes of grid span, so this is super annoying thing, on 0. So don't start drawing here. This will cause huge confusion, because you might have to start merging this for each of these these channels. You need to reposition them all in the same, otherwise it gets really messed. And you think very often I think I just don't get used to this setup. So I think that I deleted that I totally lost my drawings, my strokes, but actually they were just in other keyframes, right? Okay, so this is very difficult to handle that in Blender current UI for grid pencil, model sheeting, and possibly other stuff. So the UI is difficult. It takes time to get used to grid pencil, but the cool thing, the greatest thing, for model sheet at least, or sketching thing, is that it's really adaptable in some ways. We can change directly in Blender, so this is a great advantage, and we can then make immediate back and forth adjustment between a ongoing 3D model and the grid pencil model sheet. It's fantastic, I think, right? You can draw directly in Blender. So this is a massive advantage. So if you can learn to cope with the green pencil madness, it's great. It takes time, but there is a path. So don't give up, because it works. It totally works it, in my opinion. Of course, I would still like to have Krita in here, right? But inside Blender, Krita UI inside Blender to make Krita facilities, let's say, some of them for drawing, but like the brushes, like the layers, maybe, yeah. But we can't have everything apparently, so we need to make some concessions and try to adapt. So folks, let's start this thing finally. And hold on, let me change also something here. Let's see if everything is correct. Yes, this is yeah, for screen, so you can see the screen when I swap. Okay, let's reduce this, collapse this timeline. This can confuse us sometimes. Then we can go here, draw mode 8. This is how I do, right? You can draw on 1, but shift left will bring me here, and then I will fuck up everything, right? I will create a keyframe here. No, we don't want that. So I want to be here. So you can't shift, like go back, traveling, navigating between the end frame and right now. No, you need to go on 0 here. I like to keep them here, so it's harder to mess them up. Yeah, like if you're animating other stuff, right? The bones, right? Creating actions. I don't want this thing in the summary of the grid pencil. Need to have them selected differently. I don't have. Yeah, there's why there's no keyframes here? Why the keyframes don't appear? Here they appear. Here they don't appear. Is it possible that... Is this a bug? It's not appearing in the timeline for some crazy... Not at all. What is happening? Here I don't understand. Let's try to move this and move to sketch. Yeah, no. I have it oh, it's here. Here you need to it was unselectable. Now there it says here the summary of these grid pencils layers, and they are layer channels. So you have the front side, so there's nothing in them, so they are blank from it, but the keyframes still appear. So okay, we got the front, and you see all them are aligned. So this is what we want, so we don't need this anymore. And let's get, also we can lock. When they are locked, we can't accidentally move them. This one I can, right? Because it's unlocked. So this is good to lock here, so we can't even move the summary one. Yeah, this is very good when everything is locked. For when you're doing auto resolve, when you finish, don't forget to lock that. That could be important. Okay, so let's finally start. This needs a lot of concentration. There are much tension in this, but it's not tension that we need so much. It's attention. Attention, non-tension. Is that the etymology of the word? Is that how it works? So we can start these circles with should I make these circles again here? No, this is not necessary. You just have these lines, these strokes here, and this is the sketch, right? Yeah, the sketch is here. Okay, so we need to map here. This will be, yeah, we better require the perfect circle here. Actually, yeah, I'll make it anywhere here, then I place it in the center. Yeah, it will work. Not the ideal thing, but it can work, because I don't want to be moving this right now. Okay, we need to start here, then we drag it here, then we can validate and enter. So this is the head circle there. That's all that I need to start the head. So now you got the brush, and then it will be better if I have another. Let's reduce the strength for this particular sketching thing. That should provide some help. Yeah, it is better, I think. Also reduce the, okay, also I prefer this one. Let's we can maybe try this. Yeah, this can help too. So augment the strength a little. No, reduce about here. We can augment this. This also has the, so I'm using a drawing tab palette. It's an older version of Wacom tablet. Nowadays many other are good enough. You don't even need a big one for this kind of work, I think. Usually painting is least requiring than, really less demanding than drawing. Drawing needs often a lot of precision. Painting maybe, depending on the kind of painting, but painting, I think it's goes better with low resolution drawing palettes. The problem is that I'm not being able to see it's too far, so let's, I was drawing in the wrong position, so let's bring this and move this circle to this layer. It's locked. Okay, select that, move to that. It doesn't have name. Yeah, it doesn't have name, so it's, what's happening here? I'm in this one of the Necromancer. Oh, this one has this. Yeah, this is like the grid, right? This grid. Okay, so it's like grid stuff, right? So sketch, it is this. We can also reduce this opacity locally for this if we want. Then also for the grid, we can also reduce. Okay, then we go front. Okay, it unlocks automatically. So here we can use a different material. We can try the yellow, right? Now, okay, we go back here. I should have others, but for now there's sufficient. Then we can Okay, how to start this? So do you have the jaw that, yeah, this head tilting will be a problem here. We can try to do this analytically. Yeah, let's cheat here and see if we are lucky with that, if this gives a good positioning for this head, or maybe if we have to squash the jaw even more. So basically, we can also, yeah, her head is also tilted here. So yeah, there's a, we can do this with Grace Pencil, you know, by editing the, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna pick some of this stuff, right? I'm gonna duplicate this. We're gonna yeah, it's very hard to see here, so we're gonna mark the 3D cursor there. Then we're gonna go back on edit mode, and we're gonna go on the 3D cursor here. We're gonna rotate, gonna start to leave this aligned, and now we got not sufficient. Let's do a little more there, a little more, something like that, a little less. Okay, so okay, now this is very short. That is a short distance. That works, right? So we can I expected way more, but no, apparently this is working. So this is a ballistic rotation, right? So very mathematically accurate. So despite any perspective matters, but that seems to be fairly reliable. So this is a front view. Now is that I need to decide how. I don't have a character design for front view of this character, the Necromancer here. So this is a little problem. I have to invent it here, and this is where the mask will have to merge in some crazy ways. Maybe I'll need two of. Oh, I'm drawing the wrong one. Okay, let's go here. Okay, so here will be very interesting what we can do. So okay, maybe we can start by getting big forehead here. Then we start by, yeah, sorry that I took too long to start the good stuff, but okay. Analysis, over analysis maybe. So here the cheek, not sure this counts as the cheekbone, but this pointy cheek here that will appear on the 3/4 view, or this there's a front-sided view here. We probably want to smooth out this in the front view. It is not in the right position here. I'm exaggerating here. We need to bring this to the bottom. It should be about here. And so it will stick about this place. What happens here is not clear. If we deepen this into the face, of course this sticks more, and that can be interesting. Then if we, oh, this is mirror stuff, right? Let's change this stuff. We're gonna put the cursor here. Let's right mouse button click, mirror global, X global, yeah, following the 3D cursor, because we have this thing. Okay, and the cursor is here. So it's not exactly on the center there, but this is sufficient, because then with the mirror modifier what we can do is we already make the mirror here to facilitate mirror. Then we need to mirror just the, not object, influence just the front, and that's it. So now actually, okay, it's mirroring there, but this is a little problem here. I should have, one reason I should have started in the, okay, so we don't have, I think here I don't have a choice. I don't have any object to, and won't create any object for that. We're gonna just bring this stuff to the center there. Okay, we're gonna, same for this circle here. We're gonna bring it. No, it's not. Yeah, it is this. So stroke selection, there we go, G. So this will be, we can also create a mirror for that, for the grid, but the grid is currently not correct, so there's stuff that are on one side, so this one we won't do that. What we need to do now, however, this is very annoying, but we'll have to do it at least once. So I need to move this and move the layers of the grid pencil that are matching this. I don't know how many are matching, probably it's just that one, possibly there's another one, but we're gonna check. So this will, okay, so here apparently there is nothing regarding, oh there is, oh these things are matching, right? So we need to, we have to move this all together. Although this is very stupid, right? This is in the wrong, these are in the wrong now what's going on? Let's hide this. Yeah, definitely we got some grid here which are in the, so we need to bring this to the, except for, let's hide, no, it cannot do that. How many of these there are? There are just one, so okay, we select all these, select all, right? Then we shift click this, there we go. So I'm gonna P separate this selection, then we're gonna go on object mode, then we're gonna pick this, and we're gonna join this grid. I don't know what will happen here. Oh, there's no, yeah, there's already a grid, so we're gonna just change this to grid 2, and we're gonna merge that into grid pencil studies. Control J, merging grid pencils. All right, so here we have the, no modifier got together. Okay, so we got here, and now these layers are, we have this grid 2. Okay, now this is in the good position. So now we, in the other we have nothing relative to this image. Let's see what we have here. We have this one, let's hide this. So I have this one, this layer, we don't have, we have this layer, probably this layer 2, different countings for the, right, and that's all. The other are for other studies. So we gonna get, is this RB and RB, so this will just stack into the, yeah, is this head calculation. So you're gonna just, oops, what happened here, layers. Okay, gonna just use this whole selection here, move them to head here, and it's locked. Now we need to unlock. Okay, move to that, and you see that some values are getting slightly confusing, but I think we can I'll find some way to handle that. 3/4 of 6 phase and 6.5. Yeah, nothing has changed too much, and now I can delete this one because there's nothing else here. So now I need to move not the entire grease pencil, but just these 2 layers. So I need to move them in a, to take them away from the center. So here I'm moving the grease pencil, is not good. I need to move the layer. So GX negative 4, no, GX negative 1. Okay, GX negative 1 seems too much. GX negative 0.5. It'll conflict with the arms. No, that will be fine. Okay. 0.5 is a intelligent number for calculations. Okay, then remembering, right? So let's get this one, gx negative 0.5, and there we go. This is the annoying thing. It's layer by layer, if not the, because all of the grease pencils, they are combined. So if I had each study per image on a different grease pencil, yeah, then I will have a problem, have a lot of grease pencils. But it will be easier to fix this. You just move the object themselves group by couple, right? Yeah, so it would have been better actually for this. Okay, let's go back now to the center. We get here, and I'm gonna lock everything because we don't want annoyances here. We don't want any serious mistakes. Then we pull that down. We start in front. So you see, a lot of attention you need to have for this. Now this seems to be a bit far away because it's too small, but no, I'm not gonna bother here. Where is the... Okay, here. Okay, sketch here. I think we need... Oh, I cannot swap. You need to be on object mode. Another thing that... Let's see this. Hold on. Edit mode. Unlock. Aha. Alright, so these words a highlight, folks. Let's make a highlight. This will be quick. Hold on, what is the chat? Star emoji, basketball icon. On top of the basketball icon there will be some here. So this is the easy swapping between grease pencil objects, even when they are not unselectable. And what else? And different mode and wrong mode. And on wrong mode for switch swapping object selection. Yeah, so of course this is called, let's also swapping, no, swapping. What is the name? Is the lock object modes. Yeah. So this is called yeah, it's the disabled. Alright folks, what this contraption means is basically this. I was struggling a lot here in Grease Pencil the model sheet because I was having, in this case, two Grease Pencil. One was for studies and the other, because there are a lot of imagery to references here, and the other was for my own thing. So then what happens, I was the default lock object mode, so whenever I needed the other one to be like, I don't want to have anything there selectable right in the background. So okay, then I was doing my job here, edit mode on this, the main Grease Pencil. Then I was happy, making happy clouds here, you know, Bob Ross, the painter teacher. So the start to get unhappy clouds because actually okay, let's swap some stuff here. Wait, this doesn't swap the object data here, the object yeah, this is object, the layers, and this is because I'm on edit mode for this grease pencil object, and this one is unselectable. But it's not only that. Even if I was in object mode, yeah, if I not in object mode, I can do so. But this is not optimal. I think was something else, but besides this this thing, but the modes are really complicated, right? So then if I can't have this easy swapping of objects, it's super annoying, right? So let's leave this like that and just take off this option just for the process of right, lock object modes. This one we are handling with multiple objects, and we have to get swapping between the edit and draw mode and object mode of the grease pencil material, grease pencil object, right? And so this now I can easily swap here. You see, immediately we get, so you can, right, change here, change opacities, and do all this kind of stuff, and this is now good to go. So, and I can't edit this stuff. Yeah, see, wait, no, I can access them, but oh yeah, currently no, it's the wrong one. So this is I selected the object even though maybe it's a bug, it shouldn't be allowed, but okay. So this can be a slightly dangerous actually, because we might, if we need to go back here, or we might end up editing the other object, right? It's not uneditable, right, or unchangeable. Probably I can even start drawing here on this layer, I guess. Yeah, I'm on this one totally. So this is dangerous, but we still need to make sure we go back to where we want. But it is effective for quick stuff here. So as long as we don't click here, yeah, they are unselectable in the 3D viewport. So that is safe. As long as we don't click here, this is safe. So that is actually safe. Okay. Safer than I thought. Alright folks, this is for the highlight here. So this is good technique. The waves are good, but the technique is wrong. This is Anatoly gym prank, when he imitates old man in gym. It's very funny. So amicable, most of them amicable pranks, right? Not any. It's well done, right? Elegant ones. Consider the place. Okay, so I believe we get this, but you see, this will be more like my character design, and this is where I think we're gonna go for. Wait, I'm drawing the wrong layers. Let's sketch. Now this is, yeah. So we're gonna delete this thing. Sorry, little mistake. We go back here. So I just need to draw on one side because you have the mirror modifier applied to just the front layer, which is the one I am now. Okay, so here is one thing interesting. So I can have this popping thing, but I'm gonna cheekbone or chicken, but then I may still be able to get the continuation, right, downwards, and this jaw thing here. Here we need a reference for the Oh yeah, it was this one. Okay, so we need the, let's move back. It's about the middle third cube there. So about here. So I exaggerated a little. So we have here. We're gonna get this. So we're gonna try to get the jawline of the mask. But at the same time, we want to get this cheek feature. Maybe it can be, maybe we can expand this jawline a little more to get something softer. Yeah, it doesn't need to be pretty young. So maybe we do something like here, like say. So at some point this starts to deepen up, so like here you see, so the jawline would be about starting about here. So this is a ghost drawing, right? Imagine just a structural drawing, but in my own the front, right? So here there is a margin of error to visit, but then we can have this thing, and here I'm not sure how much, right? We can deepen that. We don't need to follow exactly the circle there. We can do different stuff, right? As we see here, right there. Actually, this, yeah, it starts to be wider at the top. I like this idea, so we can try something like that. Usually it has been working for my character designs, but also I believe this might have something, it might be relatable to the faces of the anim's mask stuff, but I'm not totally sure. At least I think it might be relatable to Dragon Nest, although no, their heads are very rounded at the top, so this is a weird thing. Not a weird thing, it's a, so maybe we can try to round this a little more. Let's try to do like Dragon Nest. Maybe it's more elegant. Maybe it will make some better angles in some lower and higher viewpoints, right? Okay, gonna try to follow the, gonna try to follow a little more strictly this circle. See what happens. See what starts to happen. And here we're gonna carve here. Alright, so this sounds good. I think it starts to look like a good mix. That's a good mix. The RPG game. Old school. So mixing of potions in that case. Alchemy. So here we got okay, the eye. So what we do here is that we need half this structure, right? So half the structure is not too complicated, right? It's like these two large cubes with plus half of this. So it's like this distance here, right? That means that it's the half of the circle bring down by that distance there. So looks like about here. So this yeah, we can keep this reference here, it's okay, it can be helpful. So another way we could measure that, probably we don't have measurement tool here in Grease Pencil. Oh yeah, we need measures tools in Grease Pencil. That is they are lacking this feature. Okay, so actually this won't help too much if I don't get something like here, right? Then Yeah, no, this is not very helpful for this thing. Yeah, it's too confusing. Let's go back here. So this is fair enough. I think this is fine. I'll measure with my fingers. Yeah, much easier. The pinch, right? Yeah, very good. Okay, this is sufficient, folks. So here, the center of the eyes will be exactly here. So in Dragon Nest character design, sometimes they have the eyes widespread. They are not these some characters. So the eyes are not very large also, so not too relatable to some anime tradition, but okay. Which is also interesting aspects of the card design. So I'm not gonna do this, I'm just experimenting. I'm gonna go back to have this one. And also, why this is so far away, we're gonna... This one I've just... a good thing is that I can actually... Let's swap here this time. Was this drawn on top of... No, so these sketches, we can approximate them to my... We can approximate... Oh, it is here. Okay, don't need to swap here. We can approximate these sketches here to... So you see, we already... What was that? This is the... Oh no, this to here. Yeah, we already got that. Okay. Smash the chin. Something like that. Compressed vertically. Chin here. From this to here. And this is the... Yeah, we did something like that indeed. So we don't need that anymore. We just need to approximate this information here and this information here. Yeah, it'll be easier. And we go back to front and to draw mode. Okay, so something about the location of the eyes don't seem to be... Yeah, this line seems to be too high for some reason. Well, I've measured, I'm double checking here, but this is exactly the center. So what happens here? Is it possible that... Yeah, there's a margin of error here, actually. So it could be the second. It could be the second. It looks a bit too straight. I think we're gonna remake this. More like this. But we'll still got the jaw doing this. The jawline will follow about something like here. We can... There's some margin here. We can decide how this will be this curvature, but... So here we don't need this one anymore. We can erase this. And so here is easier to... So that means that this will... It's here plus 1. Maybe this is even worse than it was before. No, it is better. So okay, or no, maybe it's worse. Okay, anyways, we might think that, okay, let's just elevate everything. Not sure what's going so wrong here, but if the eyes look too high here, we will just gonna rework them. For now, we're gonna try to maintain the aspect, because this doesn't need necessarily to match the center of the pupils, right? It's just if it could, that would be awesome for the regularity of the character design, but it is not really needed, right? To be like... I thought it would be, but it was... apparently what we're doing here is not creating... It's not auto-generating this effect. But it's not... It's quite close, right? So here what we're gonna do is that we're gonna get those iris, I think, for my character. Let's see her eyes. Yeah, so this is not her eyes very good that I've drawn here, so I'm trying to actually I have a paper here. I have that photographed picture here, so drawing. So I'll be looking at my own drawing for getting it. It's easier, sorry folks, but you saw it. The image of her is not very good. Also, in her pupil is larger by default. It's not very rounded, but that's fine. It's just a sketch here for the central part is what matters, the centralization, and the extent it goes more than the circular shape, because then when you transform this into a geometry, then it is totally, not totally, but mostly symmetrical, radially symmetrical. So here we can get this. So her eye has some sort of curvature downward, like here. Could have some bottom eyelash, maybe, not sure. Then it curves up, but certain angle. Then there is strong eyelash here, which combines with the bottom. But it's just not, it's not a gigantic. We can also pick an eyeball structure here to see where would be the lid creases. This might be important. So anatomic lines here. So her eyeball that is closer to the skin of the where they are the muscles, orbicularis oculi muscles. They are around this, yeah, around these edges here. So this lid crease is very important anatomic feature, even for cartoon. In manga they use that, right? It's very important, especially this one. It's a little line that sticks with the very close to this contour of the eye, right, or the top eyelash, whatever. And then this is not the brow. This is not the brow, right? This is just the marker of the lid crease. So I mean the eyelid is here. The top eyelid is here, and the bottom eyelid is here. But this they use. It's not so common. It's more usually we just see this one on most regular expression. Then here we can see the, so in Dragon Nest we can get this thing yeah, we don't see great here, but the eyebrows are not very big. We can also, sometimes it's cool to have tiny eyebrows. It can be nice. So we can try something small for her as well. So we can try something like that. I don't know. Also, maybe not so close to the center can be funny. And if they go curving that, so eyes we can always reposition, but that's fine. Then the positioning of the nose, I see the nose tip is here. For the mask feature, this will be very difficult to no I mean it's always difficult. So this suggests already that I think it's too low here, but we don't know, because in the mask feature the nose is really thing that sticks like gradually, right, until it becomes sort of a point, and it's not usually not goes up too much from a profile. It's not something like that which I usually do, so it's more like something more like that, just like this. So it's very, it varies of course, but it's just a point there, like a mountain. And so this is, I usually already see that here maybe we need to place this little higher than this, the tip of the nose. I think I'm gonna place it here. So I'm gonna make still this thing, but the structure here, we need to visualize this sort of round thing, I believe, here. And the shape is not clear how it will form, but we'll see better in 3D and maybe when we have the side view. And so here, this is where we need to imagine that loop, that face loop, which will conflict, or maybe not, but will conflict with what I usually do for this one, which is the cheek, right? So on the cheek, the upper cheek, to match this system here, so you can get a good cheek expression for the eye. So this, you see, it might not be sufficient here, but we can cross some topologies, but this could get super complicated. It's okay if it works for topology wise, but all this chess might be good for understanding what the basal shapes are important, like to structure the shapes, to give shapes topological structure, accurate structure. So this is why my word getting more mesh density here. So here I think usually they do this right below the cheekbone, or where the cheekbone would meet the jaw. So this thing actually, the jawline where it tilts, where it changes. So I think this in my character would go about there. This will be dipping down, while this is dipping in another direction. Try to meet the top of the nose bridge, right? But also this use the nose bridge. So two things are using the nose bridge. Actually, three things would be using the nose bridge, because you can have the eye topology, ocular eye, binocular topology here. Not even draw that, but we have something. Yeah, I'm gonna not just marking slightly. So three topological features that, plus the one around the nose itself, so that are very important here for understanding these complex shapes here. So we got bring this down here. I say this is a complex shape because I try to over and over again for years trying to adapt my style. Even before I learned about mesh topology concept, I was trying to adapt in 3D, and I was occasionally having good shapes, but it was still very difficult, very challenging. It's a very interesting challenge, and certain character designs, or it also depends the approach of the artist, and some skills, some abilities. Some might have easier time to learn, but also I think it also certain character designs, they are on a certain artistic vision. They really demand a lot of precision. You can't do anything and go, I'll do like that and that will work. No, that might work for someone, but not for the artist that is looking for the ultimate version or something like that. Refinements, right? The progress of the shapes of the finding. So this is interesting. Maybe for the expression of the mouth, you see, it's not good, but it can still work. What we could do, maybe we could try to push this more like here, and then make this curve down, right? So this will grant a little more space for the mouth, not too much, right, as you can see, but then we start to grasp this place here of rotation, right? The curvature, right? This curvature from here to here. So doesn't mean that this face needs to be like that, but this is the margin of error for this one of these edge. And so this widens the possibility of the mouth rigging, right? But if we had the mouth go here, that would be, for this character I'm not sure, but okay. So you see this can pose some problem for, like in the case of the universal sonic mouth setup, but it's still, here it will be better. So because I'm not sure, it can go anywhere. So you see artists doing this, go here in the anime 3D, right? Imagine this mask, right? Some doing just as I'm doing here, so maybe some more to do here. So it's probably versatile, but there is a meaning to this thing, and more meanings, right? So we can confer meanings too, but there is there are some relevant things that are usually relatable to this. So here I think we got some cards here, and now the next thing done. I'm drinking mate just like the blender today, the Hermano. They are the, as this Pablo Vasquez, yeah. So there's a blender today this week. I just started to watch. I want to finish watching. I try to watch every one of these. Very good content for familiarization with Blender. The guy there, Pablo Vasquez, he knows everything about Blender. It's incredible. Now I've got more understandable about Blender. I understand how he came up to understand so much of the UI of everything that happens in Blender. Yeah, he was directly in it, but he has a whole map of it's incredible. Okay, so what else? So you have the mouth position. Okay, this is critical. Yeah, very difficult usually. So this line was matching apparently the bottom of the lower lip. The head circle matching the bottom of the, so we can make this traditional line for marking the bottom lip, but we can make this mouth shape here. Yeah, so that'll be that, and then if she has any top lip, that will be about here, right? So this is the mouth opening. Lucas Smith, welcome back. Glad you're able to arrive here. Wait, you watched Blender today? Did you crash out over the removal of searching shape keys in 4.5 beta? I haven't tried 4.5 yet because they're migrating to the tree view component for shape keys, so it would be added later on production. I haven't reached that moment he talked about shape keys. I think I remember something about shape keys, but it was not, I don't remember this tree thing. If you can explain a little better if you want, but I don't remember having shock about this. But I didn't use the blend. I haven't even touched the experimental versions. I usually don't even try them because for me it's too overwhelming. I prefer to, but I like to download, or as soon as our new release, official release happens, I like to have it updated. Actually, in my Windows it auto updates the installation I've made. So the layers thing you see on screen right now, they're gonna do that. For shape keys. But we don't have a tree for the layers. Or do you have a tree system for layers? No, we don't have a tree, but we have for the vertex groups, right? No, sorry, not for the, we have for the bone collections, right? We have a hierarchy like this, right? Like these ones, correct? In bone collection, this is will have for shape keys. Like you can make a shape key inside another shape key, kind of. So maybe that will be exceptional. I'm gonna watch and rewatch and see if I get the idea. But if that works, if I don't know, I've made a suggestion about making. Not only me, like there are at least three requests in Blender community. I think it will be fine when, that will be, we are very close to Blender 4.5 now. I think it is released on July, so very excited about that. And well, if they are they gonna do the thing that you can, like it's not keyframe, but you can interpolate the shape key like 0 to 1, right? You have a shape key plus the base, right? The bases, but then you have a shape key 1, then you interpolate 0 to 1, and then you can create inside that shape key another in between, like as it were some sort of breakdown animation concept of keyframe, the breakdown. Then you have a breakdown inside the shape key. Is that the purpose of this update? If that is the case, because with this hierarchy system for shape keys, technically this could lead to the possibility, an easier possibility of this feature. So this would be revolutionary, because it might still not mean that we can make a curve path for the shape keys, because this can be more complicated, because the shape key is based on per vertex repositioning, manual repositioning. So this is a simple duplicate shape key operator has been added. Thanks for procuring that. Okay, a simple duplicate shape key operator. Okay, a new operator update from objects update shape key data with the position of matching names. Oh yeah, no, this is too complicated. I don't understand without visual demonstration. Yeah, so I think I've watched that part, but I didn't really understand what that means. So I think that wasn't a good example. So I don't know what this is supposed to do, right? The purpose. So maybe I hope this will be very good, but maybe it's not what I'm talking about. It's not the breakdown interpolation keyframe inside keyframe. I have no idea what that is, bro. But if you understood, then and you think that is that good or bad? I don't know. Would that be a good update, or is it an unknown yet, the value of it? Of course, here the curvature is a bit exaggerated. It's just that we can see what the cheek can do, right? So it will be more like here, right? Here. And here we can also get this thing more like popping up here, and then here it dips more. Yeah, it can be more relaxed here. and then we can maybe raise the nose tip a little more, or maybe somewhere in between here. Not sure where is be the nose tip, but then we can sort of... Well, I'm gonna clean up that, of course, possibly. It's the join as shapes operator. Ah, I see. Join as shapes. So it could, it can update from objects, something like that. You can bring shapes, mesh. You can you can get reference from other shape keys that are in other mesh objects and join them as shapes into your the current object, which has some, which can be working on. Interesting. So you can like easily transfer shapes from that seems good. That seems very good, because maybe we can, I don't know if we don't have already stuff like that works well, but if it's an improvement of that, of this transferring shape keys between objects, that's good. Will the unattached character shape keys be the same as this one, or making now the shape keys that the only shape keys that I'm using on those characters, they are very, very specific, because, well, actually my purpose on this one was, this was a secret, but now you've mentioned, I'm gonna tell what I intend to do for this character. Yes, I intend to do the universal sonic melt rig. So in principle I would have because I've made some experiments with VRM, right, the virtual reality modeling, right, this process of making, I was making tests of ARKit, you know, those 52 facial expression. I did everything like from scratch, right, and I've learned like it's deposited in my brain. Finally I've got and start to understand the not everything. I'd like to study more the anatomic aspects, scientific aspects of those muscles, why those choices were made. But I've got so I've made all those 52 shape keys by hand, like one by one. I wasn't able to use all of them to combine them into shapes, but it was actually very interesting once I finally had the patience to dive deep into that. And I found a technique that is not super cool, but there is a problem. I found I think I want to report that as it's something about shape keys. They totally need to fix it. You know, the shape key, it doesn't adapt to all object modifiers. It can adapt. You can build a new shape key, you can edit your shape key, edit mode, right? I don't know about sculpting. This will be another story to check. But because on sculpt you're on sculpt mode, which is not object mode, so but it's not, I don't know what it is, so sculpt mode. But on edit mode, there is for the object modifier, the armature modifier, for example, you have there's no armature modifier here for grease pens. Okay. Hey, there should be an armature. Okay, there is an armature modifier for. I'm just getting here so we can easier to deform armature. We have on cage. Yeah, there's another edit mode and on cage, which is here, right? So shape key responds to on cage and on edit and edit mode, right? It responds differently if those things are enabled or disabled, and this can be very, very tricky, but this allows us to shape keys in respect to some deforms which are not happening already and that we are seeing on the rest position. or like on the shape key itself. So, but it doesn't respond to many other object modifiers. Like it doesn't respond to shrink wrap modifier. And for me, this is very bad, because a lot of good rig stuff that I do, like in the inverse sonic melt rig, for example, or for the eyes, eyelids and all stuff there, the shape key, you start modeling shape key, they do not respond as you manipulate the shape key. They do not respond to the shrink wrap feature real time. So it's dead. It's completely undeveloped for that, and it should be, because it works for armature, right? The object should, the shape key editing should respond to the you can try by yourself. You'll see that armature modifier will give you different results if you model it on cage and on edit, if you model a shape key based on those things enable or based on those things disable for the armature modifier. Of course, you need the deform. You need something to be. You need a pose on the bones, right? Deform bones, right? So, okay, make a pose that, but they do not respond the shape key editing to many other object modifiers. Apparently, it's not just a shrink wrap; it's pervasive. So they fixed this just to develop it just for the armature modifier, maybe another one, I'm not sure, but not for some others maybe, and including for sure the shrink wrap modifier. But that doesn't mean that you can't use a proxy mesh, the ghost muzzle mesh object, or the dummy model, right? As said by the actually I'm calling proxy mesh, right? Those invisible mesh that is just a reference of spatial. Could be a backup, but we can use that for shrink wrapping feature, dynamic shrink wrapping feature, or static, or we can use, that means that structural mesh object, it can also deform. It can also deform with armature modifier, for example, or with shape keys, and still impact then consecutively the mesh that is the face, the real face of the character. You can make this cascading effect. It's crazy. This is what the inverse sonic melt rig does. It uses dynamic effect for the ghost mask. But anyways, if we make the mistakes there, so we can still edit the shape keys with the snapping options and snap the vertices we are picking at some points. This now I'm gonna snap this to the muzzle there that is behind, so you have the reference. It's not shrink wrapping, but you can sort of shrink wrap by snapping locally, right? Okay, I want to snap these ones. I've edited them as I want. Now let's pick this one and snap them. Yeah, snap, right? Snap. So this, I started to use the technique. It's tedious, but it gets the job done. So like I've messed up the shapes here. It's all convoluted. It's all distorted in this area here. You see? No. Let's pick the proxy mesh is there. So it's right behind. So just pick the vertices, enable snapping, and snapped on surface, right? Option, and then you get similar as if you were having the shrink wrapping object modifier working. So I didn't do this for all the shapes. This is time consuming, but I did for when I make some grave mistakes, and that was super helpful. Anyways, so for the idea here of the expressions, the only shape keys that I intend to use for Dorothy, Natashi, they are not the R-kit, those things. They are not for mocap. Maybe in the future, but it's not the purpose of those characters for the time being. The only shape keys that they have is these anatomic shape keys for the eyelashes, for the lips, maybe for some deforms on the body, for corrective stuff in the corrective shape keys, stuff like that can still be used as anatomic shape keys. But I haven't made up my mind for the body, so maybe it's not needed. I have a lot of deform helper bones, so probably don't need the shape keys there. Shape keys for maybe some special feature, like special effects. Maybe I can't think of anything right now for those characters, but there are, besides those two anatomic shape keys that I've mentioned, the eyelashes. I'm starting to use this all the time for my stylized characters. So this one I'll also use. She has some stylized eyelashes, so I'm gonna use the anatomic shape key for the eyelash, and then for the mouth, the lips. Yeah, the lips also anatomic shape keys. And for the purse shape key, we see when the mouth is very small, is a point, like very anime cartoony stuff. So this I probably want that, unless I find a miracle way to do this with bone. With there is a potential to do this, but this is experimental as of yet. I think it's possible, but it might be some contraption technique that needs to be done. But we can substitute twisting shape keys, the happy sad, with twisting helper bones for the mouth. I tried that. Yeah, mouth, lips, that worked, totally works. So substitute this. The round shape key, I think this is good, but maybe bendy bones. This, and also I need to re-experiment this after all this time. Very interesting topics, right? I think for rigging cartoony stuff in general in Blender. So I want to retry the Universonic mouth rig with bendy bones at some point in the future when I have more time, and then see if that provides good deforms. First, if it doesn't destroy the lips and some excessive stretching and squashing. Yeah, because that is one big deal. Do you think Shift A mesh cube add mesh cube modifier array count 8 relative is too political? For proportional guides. No, I think this is good. This is a good idea actually, because you have mesh guides, but then yeah, cubes, then they are three-dimensional. Yeah, that's a good idea. Could even make them into, then rotate them 90 degrees maybe. That could be even better. That's a good idea. Yeah, great idea. We can try that. Let's see what happens. We get a proxy mesh now for this. So we're gonna cube. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. This sounds very, very smart. Okay, get here. We're gonna scale this snap to grid. No, scale. Let's reset scale. Scale 0.2. Yeah, 0.2. Then snap. Absolute grid snap. Okay, let's move this to. Oh, okay. This we're gonna. This new files is not at all. Okay, this is there. Okay, let's. We got it here, so we can. Yeah, gonna scale down again by 2. Okay. No, but let's scale about this. Okay, here. Let's also set origin to 3D cursor. Yeah, you can maintain it here at the bottom. Now let's start from the head, right? Then we got here. We could make a circle too, right? With a subdivided. Could do many things. Yeah, I got some idea here. Maybe we got subdivide, as long as it maintains the edges. Just one subdivision. We use creases. Maybe we're gonna. I'm doing a bit more than just the cubes, right? maybe more political. I don't mean exactly, I mean too political, but it seems to be analytical and very, very exacting, right? So this is a spherical cube. So, or a cuboid sphere. And it's not good. We need some well, this edge, oh, it lacked one edge crease here, of course. No, we need another subdivision here exactly in the center. There we go. And crease. Yeah, there we go. So here we go. Those maybe like that. Then we got this, we can turn this into a wire. And then yeah, well, maybe it's still good. Okay, because we can, since it's an object, we can, what you can do with this, we can't control its okay, maybe we don't want it as wire, we want it as texture, but then we want to change this color, add the alpha. If we do here, there are many ways to do that, but yeah, we can choose, we can, that's not working. Okay, so anyways, I think we need the actual its attribute, but this will cause a lot of issues with, because this will affect my grease pencil. I won't see the grease pencil color, so yeah, this is won't be good actually. Yeah, so now it's not working. So you need to disable this visualization in other way. So you don't want this to be in front, right? We want actually the, wait, why don't we place this in front, the cube? I want this one to be in front anyways. Okay, and this one, okay, so I want this one to be in front, right? And the cube, we don't want to be it in front, but yeah, that's it. Then the shadow, no, what are those things? Texture space, is that any useful? Yeah, can help this better describe the, and now the array modifier to, yeah, we can even have two arrays, like, so we can have this growing. So 8 by default, then we got factor negative z, and we take this off, and so here there's, of course, this is too much, so we're gonna, so this is brilliant idea, bro. So you're a genius. Congrats. So that is totally good technique, because okay, it's just an object, it's might be easier to manipulate, and it already gives three-dimensionality. We can achieve this with grease pencil also, as I've been doing, but this is like it's smart, it works very well too. Maybe it provides something else. The problem then, yeah, we can turn off some this and need to assess more, right? We need to see more what we can do with this. But so here, if I check the wire, this helps reinforcing the grid. This is what I really wanted. So look at some points, right? So you see, it's very, this is a way to use it. Like we can, you see, I remember we made the subdivisions here, here and there. So we can use this technique, like even to, this is a new use of, different use of the technique. Maybe, yeah, I wasn't expecting for that. Maybe not, also not you, but we can, maybe this is what you're looking for, but we can use this to reinforce the grids where they matter. So that's, I was looking for that in some occasions, because the grid, right, see, it's all the same thing, you just get lost, right? So imagine you have to make the lines here. No, it's, so what we need is, we can also, there is a grid object actually. I tried already to use this for, but actually this combines well. So instead of cubes, or maybe you can still use cubes to reinforce the grid there, and you have an extra grid, rotate X here, and we can, so this is not a cube, this is a grid object that if you go in edit mode, it's just a lot of planes like that. Maybe I want to delete only faces, right? And then yeah, this is it, it's proportionate, but we can change its proportion. Maybe we can get it, can we edit this grid as, yeah, they are, yeah, so we can, but this is the problem, it's not tridimensional, so it's not like yeah, so it's not like the cube. We'll have to make the cube also have subdivisions like that in the center. No, not in exact sum. So it's not totally three-dimensional favorable, but like the volume is just the surface that matters for this stuff. But we can still make interior stuff, but this will be more complicated. Possibly not really necessary. If we use this other grid, we have already an we can make some sort of, let's say, divide this by 0.5, right? So we can reinforce the half grids. Yeah, but this is not match. This is exactly matching, so this is not a good one. Let's try scale divided by 10. Okay, now, yeah, they match, but what matters here is that we're reinforcing the... We would be reinforcing the tools, right? And we could use this for the face. Haha. So we can also use something, and then of course we delete, we duplicate, and have to do this for the side view and for the top view possibly. Yeah, it could help in many ways. So in certain areas where we might need some more resolution, like we can also array this, why not, right? So, but here this is not, it is, so yeah, those names are very bad. So they are not helping here in getting the good positioning. Okay, I don't know why it's the difference between, it's because it is selected, right? So we don't want to have them selectable. The problem is how we overlay how we change this overlay. So I think there's this, the question is here, fade inactive objects. Yeah, except that it seems to affect, yeah, I don't like very much this this grade of everything, is because there is, yeah, the whole scene gets grayed out. So I don't understand this very well, so now it doesn't seem very good for what I'm doing. So yeah, this needs to be more polished, but yeah, exactly something like that. So you can have this setup here. I don't know if you give some material colors for these cubes, you can change the color of this grid. Let's see. So I select this, it is selected, right? So we got in the material. Let's try to get this. Let's try this assign. Yeah, it's the same. Is that a different color? No, it doesn't seem to have a different color. Let's go on the viewport. display, and no, still not. Oh, it's a wireframe. Okay. No, they don't seem to be working. I have texture, object, theme, wireframe as theme, as random. Oh, okay, get wireframe as random. So there's probably a way to paint this, but we can use this. Yes, so here is, we could also, for the arms proportion, we can use this with like the array. We can probably now yeah, I don't know exactly how to go this to the other side. You need to, yeah, then you have to array and mirror. It start to get too much, right? But it's just for the front in this case, so we can do this. So we get the cube here, and then we can like do another array, except that this array will be side array, vertical, horizontal. Then this array we can count maybe like 4, I don't know, then maybe it's too much, but yeah, let's start. Then we get not z, but we start factor, yeah, x positive 1 2 3 4, right? I don't know if this will be enough for the car, so I'm gonna make 4 just in case. Then it's arraying after the other array, so this is perfect. The color is not good, right? But okay. Then we need a mirror. The problem is that the mirror will actually stack more in, yeah, it will stack data here, but it's fine. It's still the same object, so it's not really compromising. It will make some edges here stronger, but I think this is okay. So but we don't need the mirror, because once we make one arm precise, we don't need the measurements on the other side, unless the character is, in principle we don't need them, unless the character is asymmetrical by design. Have you extracted the rig of a different character and used it as a proportional guide? No, I haven't tried to do this for guiding proportions, but I already extracted other rigs from different characters, even than mine, to investigate how they position the bones. For example, this is the joints, right? It's very important, the ball joints. And of course we can assess the rig in videos too, and imagery, right? Reference, don't need to, but this is what I've been using in that, of course, and also to assess how the rig works. But as proportional guides, no, because the rig, or unless you mean the rigged model, entire rigged model. So usually I don't do this because I've not been researching other, except for this. If I had the ripped model of this, of Dragoness, of this character, of course I would be using this like as an accessory, not as the main thing, because it might help not that much, because then you find out, oh, I can totally make this thing, but then it just doesn't work, right? So sometimes but it should help in combination with all the other things that I'm doing. So yes, it should be positive to have it. Since I don't have the ripped model of this, I can't, I'm lacking this additional reference to play around, right? Possibly there is some ripped version, but I'd like to keep searching, but this is might be harder, I don't know, to to find out. It's not necessary anyways for this project, but it will be good to have, so we can assess immediately the proportions, right? I don't know if I'm hurting myself flexibility, but I think I can skip sculpting and work faster if I make the rig first. Skip sculpting, skip modeling and sculpting the character. And yeah, like if you are very interested in the building of the skeleton part for rig, then this is a great idea creatively, because, and also for the workflow, because you know, a lot of artists might have made those base mesh, right, to be used. There's even, so yeah, there are some projects that are free base mesh, paid base meshes, so you can totally download those base mesh with various stylistic approaches. None of those are equivalent to the characters I'm trying to do, so right there, it's impossible. It's an infinite possibilities. But yes, we can pick those. I think it's a great thing. I've not been doing that because for me it's like I'm not like doing industrial production, so in my experiment, and I don't like those topologies. Like they are good, I like, but not like I have my own mannerisms and approach. So of course, but it's very good for studying and making stuff faster. So I think it's a good idea if you have the mindset for that. But for me, it's like I feel like whatever I pick from external things, like so imagine I have the ripped model here, right? I wouldn't use it straight ahead, like modifying it. No, I would do my own, still make my own, because I want to make something different. If I start develop on top of that, it will be possibly very messy, because I'm doing something on top of something that already exists, and that could be very confusing for my workflow. Then I would prefer to be looking at the original, then developing here and then comparing. So you see, this is what I prefer to do. So this is why I prefer, sometimes it has really, so if I pick those base meshes, it will be more confusing me probably to achieve what I want, because they already have those presets, and they understand these presets, right? They are some sort of understanding of the anatomy, the ideal shapes, but this was a stylistic approach, right? There's no scientific in art, right? There is, in the sense that, yeah, we can try to, there's always some sort of interpretation of reality, right? Usually, well, there tends to be, right? So this is why those models, those preset models, for me, they would, of course, that doesn't mean that doing this as an exercise wouldn't teach a lot in terms of the process workflow itself, of how to do this faster and better and enjoy to do that even. But it could be a good practice also in terms of no, so there's, it can reveal some unknown, something that we weren't aware of in our own process of making character design. Oh, why this guy is using this topology? Maybe it's because of this. Why this the artist using this proportion here for the shoulder, or this bump in this part of the arm? I don't know what. I didn't do this. Why is, oh, this looks beautiful, let's skip this, right? So now all this kind of stuff, right, you can start to adapt. So stealing the good stealing, right? So this is favorable things why to do this, right? You learn by observing and dealing with those things directly. Yeah, let's continue here. So now the neck. So here we got a little trouble. We need to see if this, from the front view, I have this problem many times with my character design, if the chin will not, the height of the chin will not make the neck disappear from the front view. And apparently not. There still be, yeah, provide this line of the torso stays there, right? Yeah, provide this line of the torso stays where it is, we will see we'll be able to see we're gonna keep this line, it's important, a reference, so we'll be able to see the neck, at least some part of the neck, right? So we see that this line is about this little square here, so it's like the first square beyond that line, maybe a little more even. So the upper torso about here, right? We can change that, we can have some variations, but so my torso here will be more the shoulders will be wider than my original character design. So these are very, very compressed upper torso, right? But the shoulders are a bit wider than, of course, the torso itself. The torso is something like this, right? She's a 3/4 here, but you see the torso is very animation stuff, like, but the shoulders make it slightly larger. And then the hips are much wider, right? So the chest, depending on the size of the breast, may expand this volume here, but so it will have something like this, depending on the bustiness of the character. But usually, but that the structure of the torso is still very. So you're gonna expand this a little, like I did here. Still, so here we need to find, yeah, so here I'm gonna just keep drawing here with respect to this, at least the body. I think it's started to work. So usually I would draw like about here, but we're gonna expand, so we're gonna try, let's try here. And for the shoulders, I say the shoulder, yeah, it like bypass the head, so it could be about here. Okay, we need more string here. Then here we can try this. Why the mirror is not working? Probably I'm not drawing the front, I'm drawing the sketch. Okay, so I need to pick all this and move this to front, unlocked front, M front, there we go. Go back here, go back on 8, so here, yeah, finally. So this line is just a test here. We're gonna see exactly, so because there is indeed something like that. So the chest, the chest, I mean yeah, so I have here, I need to assess her. This was causing some other, no, this is fine. Okay, so let's see here. Oh yeah, I knew that. The middle of the second head, which is exactly this reinforced line. So this is where this helps, but you can see it here, right? This one is easy. These ones are harder. So this is where this grid can help a lot. Then we gonna the smaller one. Then so the chest. Yeah, so this is different from my character design already. Usually I make the boobs, the breasts, they are lower. Well, wait, then why? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so this will be more like this. Why does this happen? Oh, this is happening because of course, the torso is much smaller. Of course, this is like we are getting a lower distance. So of course, then when I make this, there's a longer distance here. Of course, that it's proportionally looks like, right? But because the chest is it's wider, then of course, if I make the breast in the same position, it will interesting effect, right? But that means that, yeah, it changes everything. So actually, wow, this is crazy. So that is actually what's happening. One thing that this is one of the facts responsible for why in my character design the boobs appear too low in relation to this, is also because the chest, the area, the rib cage is just the upper torso, or the torso in general is too elongated. So of course the elongation, this stretches right, and then it makes the illusion that it's very, yeah, I cannot wrap my mind about that right now, but it seems that it's because I've just made the test and we see what's happening right in real time, right? It's something because then it's proportional. It's like, okay, this is a smaller torso, so the same distance for a smaller torso makes the right, makes us, it looks like it's a rat, a mouse has much more way to traverse a bridge, a human-made bridge, than a mouse-made bridge. Something like that, yeah. So but the distance is the same, but for the mouse it's much longer way to go, if we see in terms of meters. Or okay, so then the rib cage will end up like here. It's not sure how we're gonna make this, but so you see this looks more anatomical, but right, the dragon nesting anime stuff, right? But we're still not sure how we're gonna build this. So this, the lower ribs, we probably go about there, but we still have to see. So the hip, so about lower of the third head, slightly below the third head. So same thing here, should be in her case about here. Yeah, about, you see that there's some doubles yet, I'm not sure. Looks like we have some. Let's try to follow. Oh, these ones, let's follow these ones. Oh no, this is, I know what's happening. We are enabled the head jaw, the wrong one. There we go. Accidentally had this eye there remaining, so we need here to so you see it could go lower. So here we have the cards here, actually bad cards, but there's always a complication for each card. It's very difficult to find if I calculate if I can calculate that, if I know a formula, geometric formula, right, that matches according to the proportion of my card. If I find a relationship, then that will be gold. But for now I don't have this relationship line, so you need to get some time to structure this and more like and see if I can find any think that, oh, it worked for this character, it worked for Natasha, it works for the Dorothy. So probably there are many entanglements there that I just had. You need some creativity, investigation, and patience to try out. It's not difficult, but okay, sometimes this is why it's good to look at those books of reference, traditional of drawing human figure, even if it's realistic. So this gives plenty of ideas, the basal stuff to get this. So the third head is here, so that means that it will be about here. So the crotch, I see that something is going wrong here. This torso, it's too elongated, it looks like, the way I was doing, right? Maybe we need to do something else here. Yeah, but I don't see this going to 1, 2, 3, slightly lower than the okay, so here we can make hips wide, right? There's a female character, and besides it's the dragoness idea, so we can exaggerate this a little more here and see what that gives. Maybe we need to expand this a little more. Yeah, maybe I did this too small, but then we need to be careful about how it relates to the head, because already for my character design this seems to be the face that I'm trying to do, that doesn't seem to be too good. So here we need to find the clavicle, and here possibly we need to lower this thing. That will, maybe this will be positive. So okay, so she'll have T-pose. So this kind of we have too much possibilities here, and it's very hard to it'll be hard to find the challenging, not hard, yeah, to find the good ones. Many should work, but maybe I'll have to change this idea for Dragoness. You see that they're they seem to propose the boobs in a lower placement. So if I do this in a lower placement, nipples, let's say in between them, so about this, right? This is about the here, right? So this is this will make that my character looks, this new character looks like more like the way I place them, not so close to the right, they are a longer distance. So I think this will be positive. Good that I visualize that. So here we're gonna, and so this can go, oh yeah, so now this can go lower. All right, and now this maybe is a bit too low. So the rib cage may be about here. Maybe this is still too far, so yeah, this will take some time to see. Maybe I'll do a cleanup with, or maybe look directly at the modeling, right, and then I make a cleanup. So we need to see if this better, wider, lower. I'm gonna getting this dual thresholds here to get some margin of error or flexibility, right? So we can have more possibilities, and more is not less, is more sometimes is less, but it is important to give a scope of what we because it can be quite different, even this small distance, right? Okay, so here, but it's still not good. But you see, this is a bulky torso now in comparison to, even maybe a little more than hers, but you see she's tilted, so maybe the frontal view would necessarily be like that, right? These curvatures maybe are not so smooth, so this could be one cause of some bad thing. Maybe we can try to do something here also. Okay, we're gonna handle the arms later. Then we got, yeah, we got still this. This line is not good. Let's try again. Something on the hips. This line is just not good. Let's erase this and see naturally what I would get. Yeah, so let's test again. Maybe wider. So you can, yeah, maybe wider. And about here, yeah, so the third we can get here. Okay, this sounds plausible. So it's been a very different character. So maybe don't do the necromancer, do something else. We're gonna see. But so here let's start to get some belly reference here. So the navel probably be about here. It's not certain. Makes sense that somewhere like here. Then we can try. So yeah, there is this bony of the hips, right? So you can have like, probably this is why the hips enlarged even below the, about here, right? So that'll be probably the, how do you call that, is the crest, the, I don't know, no, something crest here of the torso. Then this part here, yeah, about here. But then we can have flesh that still protrudes sideways even below. Iliac crest, yeah, so here's the iliac crest. Good point of reference to try to match, and then probably can do some line to try to find something. So here you need to be careful about, you see this thigh, they are very straight. Well, usually my character design, I do this very very shapy, very curved in many ways. So we might have to contemplate something simpler here, maybe. Then we get this idea. This I remember the beginning of the okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The beginning of the 5 is the is the one, two, three, four. The lower of the end of the fourth head is the end of the one knee. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is not the end of the knee. So something weird here is happening. Something very weird is happening. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I know what's happening. Of course, it's because this is the 6.5. I'm doing. This is why this should be in parallel. Sorry, this was very confused. So this is 5. This is less than 6 heads tall. So actually, I got some mistake. This is why all this is going weird. need to actually 1 2 3 4 5. She won't reach 6. Actually, yeah, she won't reach 6 while her 1 2 3 4 5, they are not aligned also, so another problem. 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and yeah, so my character will, yeah, the problem is that I don't have the numbers here. Let's go back here. I had some numbers, I don't know where they have gone. Yeah, so I'm gonna just use this stop having, I had something like this, right? Why this? Okay, let's reinforce this line here. So 1 2 3, no more complications. 4. This is why we need the grids with reinforced grid in some things. So you see, my characters will be end about here, 6 3/4. And so this is very wrong, so I think we're gonna just delete all this because it will slightly change, so this will just confuse ourselves. If we can redraw that. Alright, so now we can get, probably this will work. There we go. I just gonna learn to model faster, to texture faster, design faster in Blender. Yes, there are too many things to learn, but the important thing I found out, it's not new for educational concepts, but modern ones, but at least. But the good thing is to do mini projects, not mini projects, no, like, you need to be agile in swapping between the different domains, but not just swapping, doing them in the, let's say, the industrial, the correct sequence. Correct. What it means is that probably you're already doing this, but to get faster, you need to make many characters from scratch, or from where you start, whatever. If it's from scratch, if you have a base mesh, if you have already a skeleton, you can jump some steps if you, depending on your process, with your choices, right? We are free to use those things if they are available, right? So it doesn't matter if you are reusing stuff. So right now I'm reusing armatures, skeletons, even rigged even the base meshes of my characters. Dorothy, I'm reusing her all the time. So but model sheets, yeah, even model sheets I'm reusing sometimes to some of their aspects. And so you need to be doing many characters, not 1, not 2, not 3, like maybe 3, but you need to be doing them from start to end. And then when you have this done multiple times, then something starts to connect, and then it starts to flow. I need a new character. Then you get like Natasha. I've got that and made like her in from, well, not finished, there's still the rig, but the essential bulk of the character is done. And it was very accessible. So this only happened because I've already made, this only could happen like that because myself, I already had to make many characters bypassing the same process. Then you learn the texture, what you need, you learn the modeling that you need, you learn the the design faster as you need. So by doing many projects like that, let's call it, each of these characters a separated project. So and in the beginning it will be slow because you have to be learned, but as you start to do the second, the third, you must focus in the, not so much in the gain of velocity, of speed, right, of making, but in being able to solve problems, your character making problems. And so eventually you'll naturally get faster, and then you don't even think too much about this because it's flowing, you're getting the results you want, you can solve the problems that you need. What you need to be careful about, thanks so much, yeah, welcome, this is also on the purpose of the chat. So what you can do also, what you must try to avoid usually is to be stuck in a single character for too long, right? If you like, oh, I'm trying to rig this, like I've been doing this forever, like mouth rigging and not finding the good solution. So find something, don't stick with the same thing that is not leading, that is taking too much time, and trying to fix the thing. If you can't, then okay, let's try to ignore this, jump that, and like archive that for the future maybe, or start, or just yeah, try to go around that. Don't stick too much to, because then you'll still be doing the same project, a single character, and then you won't be doing the flow, you won't be doing the multiple characters, hardly would be doing multiple characters, and whenever you have start a new character, you won't finish that character. So this is why you need to finish a character. You need to, maybe I want to make a character for a portfolio, this is a good project, then I want to make, so start make a character from scratch, or not, but you make that for a portfolio or for an animation, I don't know, for a game, whatever. But it's a mini project. A character is never a mini project. I think it's challenging for all those things, and then you try to follow the correct sequence as better as you can. If you cannot in the beginning, it's okay, you can revise some stuff, go back and forth, but the problem is not going back and forth so much. The problem is, I think, is to be stuck in something that you want to make it perfect, and then you just stick with the same characters, never finish. And of course, if you can't finish a character, you can't get the flow of all those. Learn to model faster, learn to texture faster, learn to design faster. No, because those things, to learn to do that faster in a sequence of actions, you need to learn how to make a character from scratch in this precise productivity setup, right? And this is for having the cards for that. You need to have made this many times in a row, not in a row, but you need to have made these entire things. And this is why you need multiple projects, but can do betterly one at a time, right, if possible. Then you finish one, you go, okay, you learned a lot, then you go for the next one, and then you can start to get things naturally doing faster, because you already know what you need to get your stuff to work. Yeah, so here I'm having some trouble with this crotch. This, of course, is the problem of the torso, right? Too bulky torso. Let's compare. Yeah, it's about the same. Let's calculate this. I'm calculating, transferring data visually. Yeah, so I'm having trouble here with this, with all this torso. Okay, then maybe widen the hips again from here already. Yeah, maybe, and then it's the legs straighter here. Yeah, so you see this more dragon stuff. So this is like this but then, and you see the legs, there are, yeah. So you get here, where is the, now I'm gonna get this right. It is in the middle. No, it was not in the end. Okay, I see here. The middle of the fourth head is the beginning of the knee. The middle, no. The middle of the fourth head is the beginning of the knee. Absolutely not. So wrong again. So it's about here, I guess. Or it's just legs are just too weird, right? So no, this can be right. Okay, let's leverage the crotch a little. Then we can find other ways to achieve that. When we model, then we can have better assessment. Well, as for her, it will be in the middle of the fifth head. The middle of the fifth head will get the, she's taller, so this, this 5 is badly located, but anyways. Yeah, middle of fifth head will be somewhere like here. So for her it will be this, but we need to push this up, so that will be the end of the knee, right? So the end of the knee would be somewhere like here. So we're gonna leverage this a little, because so we're gonna make in the end, in between the head 5 and 4, and so it's a small knee, differently from the elongated knee, that structure that I've made. And then the calf and the shin, something very massive like that, like column. It's funny, but low poly, but it's like very weird. It's not like I draw, right? And then yeah, probably I'll give it some shapes, right? There are some shapes, right? But you see, it's very, very subtle. Usually I prefer something that has more interesting shapes, more organic like. Okay, and then we reach for the ankle joint, which in this case here it's like in the so I know already the base of the feet will be here. We can expand a little, but this is, yeah, 3/4. Yeah, it's exactly in the center of this square here, but somewhere like here. And then we have the thumb will be somewhere like here, and then the other. And then orthographic view is terrible. And then for checking this, certain features get too collapsed. It's crazy. What is there a head here? Yes, there is the fifth head. I don't have a fifth head. Yeah, it's different, right? She has already started the fifth head. Let's check here if there's I think for her there's nothing important here for the mapping. Oh, there is the middle of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the middle of the fifth head, which is not completed, right? Which will not be completed. So the middle, exactly here, is the ankle joint. So precisely something like that. Maybe this will be very weird in the side view. We'll find out. Already here it looks super weird. So it could be that I need to leverage the knee a little. It could be many things. So already the crotch I have many things here that are super confusing. Okay, let's make a quick test here. Yeah, because she's too bulky, right? Let's scale this to the side and see if we get anything. Okay, this is more likely my style, but looks like that I need to leverage the... And for some 1, 2, 3... Oh! I was doing completely wrong. No! Okay, so what I was doing was that I was calculating this thing from this. Again, another mistake. Is the third head is not is the middle of the third head. The middle of the third head. Slightly here, while her, which is taller, 1, 2, 3, is the above the. So this is a little terrible confusion, right? So this is the. This is so. Let's return here. Yeah, let's undo this. So what we're gonna do is. It is not terrible. It just look like this troll, cute troll character. Let's get troll or dwarf. Of course, that would never work, right? So for the stuff we are doing, so we're gonna leverage all that to that point. Yeah, we'll have to. Okay, let's. What we do with that? I don't know. We're gonna just delete this. We're gonna delete this too. So we're gonna just leverage. Yeah, let's leverage all this. Yeah, the center a little less. Is this correct? No, this is wrong. It's about. Yeah, this is a lot of. These lines are just on edit mode, they just are too confusing. Here. Okay, so we need to do something about yeah, we need to do something here about the wideness of the. So let's redo these legs. I'm gonna just keep the feet because that might be relevant. What is that? Oh, this I don't know. I can't delete them. They probably are from the other grease pencil. So I try to. No, they are from this, but okay. Let's. Oh, they are drawn. Okay, I see. They are drawn in the mirrored side. That's it. Okay, let's go back here. So at this point things were okay, but right, too bulky torso, right? It should be adequate to the reference here, or maybe, but maybe this is a bit too bad. So we're gonna do this. Okay, this is better. Then here we're gonna bring back this. Let's remake this. No, deleted important reference here. Okay, so I think the thoracic cage for this card could be like here. Okay, then we see, there we go. Very smooth, right? So here we're gonna augment the width of this. Alright, so you see when the proportions match what we know, then that is piece of cake, right? So here we're gonna. So I just was very confused about some wrong tracking again because the images are not organized. Sorry, I just didn't have time to, but we can navigate, right? So this, if we see errors, we'll detect them eventually. It's just not practical for getting everything straightforward. So yeah, we're gonna augment here, right? We're gonna stylistic freedom here, and this is more like her hip, right there. So, and here we're gonna make this more robust, right? So this is the difference. My character design will never be like that. This is really angular in this case, so I find this elegant. Also, it can be good. We can do the same for the arms. So we're gonna make this geometric approach here because it will help us. So here for the length of the arms, my characters, they tend to be I already mentioned, so they elongated. So this we're gonna make more like these cylinders, but we're gonna make more this sharp angular stuff, right? So we're gonna make like, you know, those American cartoons. I don't know the famous artist famous for that, but we're gonna start to give some angular shapes to those. We'll make them bulky like hers, right? But we'll make them more organic but angular. So there's a new approach here to this character design that I got inspired by seeing this and remembering that we can push forward for something more organic, right? But mine is very rounded, while here we can make something more low poly, right? And really abusing of the low poly for this, what they didn't do too much, I guess. So they totally could, but we are gonna push in that direction, right? And so here we relaxed thumb or stretch thumb. I think relaxed thumb. So we're gonna make this diagonal here, and but here just the only thing that we want is to get the palm, and we want to have the so stretched fingers at least as a reference, right? So we're gonna get this. That looks good. Usually this is the same, we can set the same distance, so it's like she has double palms. If the thumb is like that, I'm looking at my arm, depending of how much it could go. I see in my hand from side view, it seems to go beyond the knuckle. I think this is too much, but maybe that might work, right? Of course, maybe not that bulky thumb, but something like that seems to be good enough. Yeah, and then we have this basic reduction of the fingers from top, and then this, I usually like to make this thing going up like, okay, we'll check this after. I always get this wrong. Here we're gonna make, I forgot how we make this perfect circle here, but what we can do is, it's difficult to make this in the computer. I find sketching this curvature in a more precise way, but we can get, so what I want is to get the arc. I can draw this in the grid, so I want to have an arc for the fingers that we can see. It is too short. Usually this meets the tip of the fingers. They usually get very close to the knee. Or is it something about my arc that is wrong? Because the arc should be the arc of rotation, right? So hold on, there's another way. We need to imagine basically if the arm bends, how it will where it will reach, right? So we can do this also by getting a pivot point here. This is just for checking, right? We won't maintain this, but we can get this. Okay, you see, this is proportional. It's about there, and possibly we will leave these arms along like that, so that seems okay. Then we can tweak that in many ways. Now continue on the front view, and we're gonna, yeah, here we're gonna make those angular shapes, right? Bulky angular shapes, right? Low poly already considering. No, I'm gonna make some geometry for the geometry. I want some density for face loops because I'm looking for rigging here. Yeah, I don't want to make low poly for this. I like too much to have good face loops for wave painting also because my findings recently, so I don't bother, but we'll try to stick with the shapes, quadratic shapes, like angular shapes whenever possible, so it'll be a interesting composition. So now let's look again for these complicated things. It is the mid of the fourth head, which we have the beginning of the knee. So it is mid of the fourth head. This is calculations for her, yes. So mid of the fourth head is the beginning of the knee, so we could consider something like that. The knee of this character will not be too elongated, right? Because we are making these adaptations, so it will be the, let's see where it ends. So for her it will end maybe, as we see, maybe in about the end of the fourth head, but here we're gonna end it before. So for my character it will be about here if I would do my character, but because it's not my original style, is another mashup of style, so I'm gonna make a much shorter knee, almost rounded, right? Like something like that, right? And see, because this can also be interesting, so I'm gonna try that. Here I think I've drawn in the opposite direction, yeah, so this can always be confusing, so I'm not gonna just erase that. Always try to draw on the side that is the base of the mirror, and here we can visually assess what will be the, actually this part is the muscle protrudes before, then there's a line right here. So, and here is the question about the, so already it will be the middle of that fifth head, which is actually 1 2 3 4 5 6 is actually 6, yeah, this is 5 here, is we need 5 here, and this is I need to, so 5 plus 3/4 is wrong. It's actually, it's confused. It's 6, but 6 not exactly is the building of the sixth head, more like this, 3/4 of the sixth head, yeah. Because if you have 6.5, it suggests, yeah, already this means that you are in this building the seventh head, right? So already, so bypass the entire sixth head, so it will be below. So all right, so we need the middle of the sixth head, middle of the, yeah, it was exactly there, but we see that this might not end up very well. Then we have a threshold for the, we see that I've proposed to augment beyond the 3/4 3/4 is like half of the half, right? So it will be about here. But there's a proposition to go below, so that means we can use this reference for the ankle joint, provide. So we can use this. Maybe it will work. Maybe we'll have to push it up a little. Yeah, so this is are questionable, right? Where the position of the ankle here, but here there is this proposition that maybe we can go even below here. So we could say, I don't think it will still reach 6th head, right? That might be a bit too much, unfortunately, unless we do something else elsewhere. It might be valuable, but I think usually it's not. You see, it never gets exactly, so it's certain cases better not to push those thresholds too far, right? Like to rounded numbers, because this will fuck up the character design so much. It will just make things not right. So I need to also here have a threshold for the base of the feet, which is very, very difficult. This is made more difficult because those characters wear, all of them, mine and the other, high heel boots, so making things even more challenging. So here we could have the toes here or there, right? So I believe it will be better to push them. Now the car is not ready for modeling because we'll need to do the side view as well. And there's the hair that we haven't, but that will be another domain, another department. We can make the ears. And so should she has larger? No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit her, I think. So something like that, maybe. Yeah, something like that. So maybe slightly more, and you have to decide how we're gonna make this. Probably it's not that easy to get the ears. Usually you can get the ears, yeah, depending on the character design, it can be more to the side or more going up. So she has ears going upward, so well, she's also quite up, but in the character design at least, yeah, you see. Yeah, something like that, maybe slightly more. I like her to have some curvy ears, like more like goblinoid, or because she's like a monster. And so look at this horrible monster. So she has horns, which are ears. So so we're gonna try to match this as a reference. Yeah, this without drawing the hair, it will be difficult to match, to find the ideal, but something like that. You see, it looks like ears. So she has double ears for some reason, and so I'm not gonna draw the hair, but right now we don't need this for the. But I think this is feasible. Let's make some more adjustments here. So now I have the nipples exactly in the middle of the second head. We see the grid here. So Doesn't seem that it will work, so we'll have to... The nipple is a known reference for anatomy studies, so this is why this is often referred for both male and female. They are a good marking of reference, so we can do something like that, yeah, around here. So we can also try to find something intuitively checking here, not even checking the reference now. I'm gonna just see what we can achieve from this. Yeah, it sounds very different from the more elongated things that I do, but it's feasible. We can, so the belly line could go like that. Yeah, right, okay. This was something I'm doing recently. Then that suggests that the iliac crest might be about here, possibly. And here I don't know if we can find the... I'm not sure if you can find the navel, but possibly here. Yeah, it sounds like I'm missing space here for all those features, but too high, too low. It will be somewhere about here. I need a threshold here for investigation. Yeah, so uncertain. Looks like we'll need to make some change here, which is not sure. Maybe I need to elevate the shoulder. No, maybe I need to push down the crotch. No, this... Yeah, possibly the crotch could... It's the crotch here is the easiest thing to... It looks like that this thigh, maybe they are too much, right? Too long in relation to the shin. No, not. But it looks like that we could do something here. So lower the... And then we have more space for these features, and I think that could be... So here is another... This is an important question. So we're gonna make... Yeah, it shouldn't be too much, right? So here we don't know. I don't know what would be best. Because of course, if I I've widened her torso, even the hips, but I keep squashed the torso vertically. Of course, she will look bulky, and those things will be like. Look like totally squashed, like vertically, and this is might not cause a good effect. So folks, I think this was long enough. We just made the front model sheet here, though I think this is, besides some other revisions and fixes, but you see we ended up with something much better, way more advanced than this base sketch. Although you see, proportionally wise, this was very good, right? It gives very good flow and all everything. So, but you see, I was still not using the angular stuff. I still haven't the good interpretation of the... Okay, good luck for the... Yeah, so thanks bro. So thanks for being around. So hope that was inspiring. Tomorrow I'll start the new one with the... Then start to finish the side and more facial things on the top, and conclude the model sheet as well. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Whenever you want, be there if it is in the scheduled stuff. Tomorrow will be normal, and tomorrow is Portuguese Brazilian, by the way, Fridays. So So yeah, folks, this is the conclusion for now, and I'll have to leave. Tomorrow will be 1990, yeah, 7 p.m. back to the normal. Now I'm now I have the cards. Yeah, I'm joking about the statement, right? It became a meme, right? The warmonger that promises ending wars, right? And so that's it, folks. I think there's no more necessary to explain anything here. See you soon, and enjoy. Have a nice weekend or end of week. See ya, folks.